Well, here we are again, Sunday night live with material issues. This is the first Sunday in September, September 7th, 2025, and it is episode number 219 of Material Issues. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. I'm over here in a beautiful sunny South Jersey. And joining me, but not quite evening, early evening, very late afternoon, over on the West Coast, my good friend, the president, the International Pop Overthrow Music Festival, Mr. David Keith Partridge Bash.
Yeah, just another shirt to add to the collection. Another Facebook ad. I saw this and I said, well, I never did get to ride the Partridge Family bus, so this will have to be the next best thing. But I don't think it had. I mean, I think it's only indirectly connected to the Partridge Family bus. I forgot the name of the artist. Somebody posted.
Isn't it Mondial or Mondial, something like that?
Yeah, Mondrial. Yeah, and he did this design. So I think the company that designed the shirt was looking more at that than the Partridge. But obviously the people at ABC who designed the Partridge Family bus had that particular painting in mind.
Yeah.
So it's kind of indirect, but whatever, it works.
It works. I love it. Yeah. No, it's very, very cool. I saw you posted today wearing that. We also saw your post today about there's Tim. Nice to see you, Tim.
Ha. Thank you, Tim.
Get happy about your time at the Oasis concert, which is pretty crazy.
It was bittersweet. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of Oasis, so I was really glad when my friend Lee Tannenbaum, who I went to high school with, he moved to Florida a few years ago, and he sent me a message, or maybe it was a phone call, whatever, a few months ago, said, I'm coming out to LA to see Oasis, and you're going with me. I said, well, okay, because I certainly wouldn't have wanted to pay whatever it costs to get one of those stadium tickets. So, yeah, we went, and I hadn't been to a stadium show since 1987 when I saw David Bowie. And, I wasn't even 30 yet, so it was no big deal to me. I mean, we were far enough away where I had to look at the screen rather than the stage, and that's how it was with Oasis. But all those people and how noisy it is in, the combination of the, the sound system and the people cheering and everything just got overwhelming to me after a while. And I think part of it was Liam Gallagher, just being Liam Gallagher on stage, being rock star. So I think the whole thing was like, oh my God, I was really like starting to become overwhelmed, and not in a good way. But then in the middle of the set, Noel Gallagher started doing his songs, and his are more subdued and pretty.
Right.
I say his songs. I mean, I think he wrote almost everything anyway, but these are the ones he sang. So that calmed me down a little bit. It also calmed the crowd down. And once that happened, and I think once I made the post about being overwhelmed, I think I just needed to write that down, because after that, it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really shocked when Liam said at the end of the set, I hope everyone stays well and stays safe. I said, well, that's not the snotty rock star attitude you had when you were starting out. But it's nice to see that he's aging gracefully, still rocking. He and his brother are getting along just great.
I did see that McCartney was there. He pulled up and snuck into the show. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I knew. Not that I would have been able to do anything about it, I'm sure. But
oh yeah, you could have gotten real close to him, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he was sitting up there in the nosebleed with us,
just biding his time.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was fun. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, so on Tuesday night at 11:59, my brother Joel, who's 3 years younger than I am, he and I are flying back to New York. He told me a few months ago, I really want to go back to New York and to just do some nostalgia stuff. Go to up to Poughkeepsie, where we lived when we were kids, and then to New City, which is in Rockland County, when where we were essentially teenagers and just early young adulthood. So he said, I haven't been there for 20 years, I want you to come with me, so that we can experience it together.
Yeah,
I said, why not? So what we're going to do is, once we get to Newark Airport, if we can't check into our hotel early, we're going to drive straight up to Poughkeepsie and New City. We're going to have lunch with some of my old grade school friends.
Nice.
Who Joel knew also. So that'll be fun. Hopefully hit some record stores that I've never hit, because I haven't been to Poughkeepsie since 2006.
Wow. That'll be a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's going to be different. Hopefully, we'll see some other people along the way. We're going to the next day. We're going into Manhattan, where I think we'll have lunch at Katz's Deli. Then we're going to see the Yankees that night. And what I didn't realize was Donald Trump's going to be there. So we better get there early, because the security is going to be beefed up. So it's probably going to take a hell of a long time for people to get in.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the reaction that he's going to get. But yeah, it's September 11th, so it all makes sense.
That's why, yeah. Then what you do? You swing back through the city. You'll stop at Bleecker Bob's. Oh, it's not there anymore. That's right.
Yes.
Then you'll swing over by Rocket Scientist. No,
that's not. Well, you know what? I'm really looking more towards finding record stores outside of Manhattan, because I know the Manhattan ones. I've been doing IPO there every year. I know where they are.
You probably stopped at Vintage Vinyl.
Well, I know, really. But I've looked. I found a few that are. There are all kinds of places. Plus, Joel he's a big memorabilia collector. I've been trying to get him on the show to talk about that, as well as the business that he's in, which is very unique, that he, like me, he kind of invented. But anyway, so we're going to hit some memorabilia shops. And then Friday, we're going to Long Island. Saturday, we're coming down your way. So hopefully we can get together. We're going to go into Philly.
You should stop at Randy Now's Man Cave in Heightstown.
That's one of the places we plan on stopping. Yeah. The only thing is, Joel and I haven't spent any significant time together since 1986. I mean, which is when we last went back to New York. So hopefully we get along. Maybe we'll become the new Gallagher brothers, and we won't speak, and then I'll have to fly back home by myself, and who the hell knows?
A big punch up in Randy Now's Man Cave. That'd be good.
That could happen. But
go ahead.
We could talk about that
one
and
quick
more.
Second. I know one quick second. I do want to have a shout out in case he's watching. My daughter Hannah, who's up here right now, actually, she'll be helping me with my surgery on Tuesday. But she's part of SeaWorld's big Howl a Scream haunted SeaWorld 5-mansion acting corps, and she got a main role as one of the actors. And I do have a picture. She was actually in a YouTuber's video. The guy's got 2 million subscribers, very, very popular, very famous YouTuber. And here's a picture of Hannah at the haunted hospital.
Oh, very nice.
Popping out of her window. And I just want to say I'm very proud of my daughter for getting that role and doing the things that
congratulations. Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to you, bud. Really, really, really something. Proud of you. All right, back to you.
Back to me. All right. I forgot if I showed this last week. It was a pen I bought in Vancouver at a Vancouver pen shop. It's a company called Diplomat, and the pen is called Funky Petrol. And the really cool thing about it is, depending upon how the light shines on it, it's either blue or purple. I've never seen anything quite like that. And it writes really well. So just another one for the collection. Oh, and then the last thing before we bring on our guest, there was another pen store in Vancouver who was doing a going out of business sale. and they had, for a very, very good price, this Mont Blanc book.
Is that the Whitney Houston? Oh, what's it say? Inspire
Writing. It's this really nice coffee table book with great photos of Mont Blanc pens, of people who used them over the years. So that was very fortuitous. I didn't expect that at all.
Cool.
I did show the watch, right? Yeah, I showed the Ferro watch, so I don't need to do that. But I think it's about time we bring on our guest, because he's probably itching, chomping at the bit. So, circa 1983, and Vox Records, which I knew was owned by Greg Shaw, who had put out the Pebbles and Highs in the mid-'60s on his Bomb imprint, put out this record by a band called The Numbers, and here it's called 64 to 67. So purportedly it's about this 60s band who had a whole bunch of 7 inches and a couple of albums. And I was thinking, how the hell don't I know about these people? But, the liner notes, which are on the back, talk about, how they were big in LA, and I thought, all right, this is an obscure band I don't know about. And I'm reading the liners, and the first part of the liners sound very legit, or at least to a naive dummy like me. And I get so excited that I call this place in New York called Disque du Monde, who used to put out ads in Goldmine and specialize in stuff. And I say, do you have these 2 albums by this band, The Numbers, from the 60s? And I read off the title. He starts laughing at me. What? Why are you laughing? He says, it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. So then I read the rest of the liners, and I would assume Greg wrote these, but I could be wrong. It's genius, because as the liners go on, everything becomes a little less plausible. So when you get to the point where, oh yeah, this can't be real. But one thing I will say, though, the songs are real, whether or not they came from the 60s. The point is, they're really good, and they're very 60s inspired, let's say. So what I didn't really know was that, I thought this whole thing was a hoax, and that this wasn't were they an actual band, or were they just studio cats going in to record stuff? I didn't know. I found out subsequently that indeed they were a real band, and they were gigging around LA. And that was that. I never heard anything about them again. Circa 2025, my friend Karen Nash, who's also a great musician, contacts me and says, I want you to hear a song by this band I know. I think you'll really love it. And she sends me the song, and she was right. I really did love it. Had a very strong Beach Boys vibe to it. So, yeah, obviously right up my alley. And I say, well, who are these guys? She said, they're called The Numbers. I said, wait a minute. Is that the same Numbers that was around in the 80s? She said, yes. And in fact, they've never stopped being around. I said, oh my God. I just freaked out. She said, yeah, they have a new album coming out, and this song is on it. And she gave me the contact info for our guest. And he and I started talking, and he sent me the tracks from the album. And I thought, wow, this is wonderful. And here is said album, Mad Day Out, brand new on Bomp Turnaround Records. Just came out a few weeks ago, in fact. And it doesn't sound like the stuff from the 80s. It's not trying to sound 60s in any particular way. The songs are inspired by Beatles, Beach Boys, and other 60s acts, but it sounds very contemporary as well. And it's a wonderful record. Fans of those groups and maybe the Byrds and a few others should certainly love it. Anyway, here's one of the 2 main men from the band. He graciously accepted my invitation, which he's probably regretting because I've been talking for about 3 minutes. So we're going to bring him on right now. So without further ado, would you please give a huge Material Issues welcome to Mr. Terry Tutor.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello,
Terry. Great to have you on the program.
Oh, it's great to be here. Well, all that stuff. The interesting thing about it wasn't supposed to be a hoax per se. It was supposed to be funny enough, as you say. Okay, those liner notes were a combination of me and Greg and my brother. We stayed up late a couple of nights doing God knows what. You know, you guys probably have family viewers here, so we won't even get
Not
into
really. Say whatever you like, and in any form you like.
Anyway, we knocked off a lot of booze and a lot of marijuana and hashish and stuff like this, and wrote liner notes. And it because we all had the same sense of humor. Well, one of the great things about Greg Shaw, one of the many good things I can say about Greg is we were one of the original subscribers to his magazine. When he was, even before Who Put the Bomb, it was originally Who Put the Bomb, as in the Jerry Goffin and Barry Mann song.
Yep.
He worked at Phonograph, so we had subscriptions to all these when we were growing up in the 70s. So we had a very similar sense of humor. We had a very similar record collection. I mean, I'm probably the only guy I ever knew who could stomp him.
That would be impressive, Terry.
He had more records than I did, but he didn't know more about. Okay, I would say about half of them more because they were in different climate controlled and things.
Oops.
We can probably get some attention, and people will probably get this if we come up with this idea, and that was deliberate, getting more and more implausible to finally it's Carter Stills, Nash, and Tutor. But I was
that's right.
David's song. I didn't take the gig. All 6 years older than me. We did a funny one there too. We go out on the road, and we toured in Europe, we toured in Canada, we toured.
Wow, really? Oh my God!
Yes, we go out on the road. Well, these local people who you think you had a tough time getting it, they'd be, man, you look great for your age. Thinking I was a guy born somewhere around when Paul McCartney. and man, you look great for your age, And it was a joke between me and my brother. And then I say, you want to tell him this time or shall I? Look, if you're supposed to get this is supposed to be funny. I mean, it really is. And the guys who reviewed it got the joke. I mean, so that wasn't a problem. And we played everywhere. We played a lot with the Paisley Underground people. Michael Fresco and 3 O'Clock and the Bangles, some records. Susanna Hoffs, they used to rehearse at Carmen Ross, where we rehearsed, and she let me use her amp because I loved what she said the first time. I hope she's not watching because I don't mean to paint her dumb because she's not dumb. Very talented lady, all that, but she said you might as well use it. I don't know how it works.
Wow.
Jazz chorus. It was a Roland jazz chorus. And if you remember those amps.
Did Vicki Peterson give her the evil eye when she said that?
Yes. Well, Vicki's great at that, though.
Yeah.
Vicki's great at that. We ran into those guys not too long ago. It was a couple of years ago now. The entire Cow Souls thing. And you know what Fox and Hounds is, right? I mean,
yeah.
It might not still be there, but they were playing at the Fox and Hounds, and it was all of them.
Oh, wow, they did? Because Bob had a regular gig there, I know. I saw him there.
Yeah, so John showed up with the drums. Paul's there anyway. Vicky's there, and they just did this interchangeable. They were wonderful. I mean,
we actually had John and Vicky on the show a few months ago when their album came out.
After the Fire.
Yeah, and yeah, it's wonderful. And I ran into them at another show I was attending, and yeah, they're both such nice people.
Well, I'm one of their few fans who knows all those songs they put on that record. I had Billy Calso was one of the most incredibly talented people I ever met. I mean, that's just the way it goes. There are,
Yeah.
and so I knew his songs. I knew Barry's. So, and I'm doing the fan thing. Why didn't you pick this one, man? Like, come on. You got this one, but you left out this one. But yeah, that's a wonderful record. But anyway, yeah, where do you want me to start? You want me to start back in Dallas when we started playing?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us the history of how it got to where it got to with the numbers.
Yeah. We started playing close when we were 16, and it was one of those situations where me and my brother were born in Houston, Texas. But I
was going to say you have a bit of an accent. I wondered where you were from.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Everybody has regional dialect. You do as well, David. I could tell within a few miles where you're from when you were talking earlier. It's like, yeah, I kind of figured he was from up there. We were born in Houston, but we went to high school in Dallas, and we put together the band. We put together the Numbers, and 3 of those guys ended up out. Me and Larry and Robert Dill ended up out here, signed to Bomb Records. And what happened there? Okay, we played a lot of gigs. We toured as much as high school kids could down there. We knew some people, particularly hip record stores and things. They always seem to be in the same neighborhood as the one hip club somebody would have. We sent out the second demos we sent. The first demos we sent out were just to get gigs because that's what you did at the time. But the second ones, we started targeting people. We targeted Greg Shaw, of course, because, like I said, we have a very similar sense of humor. We had a very similar idea of he used power pop till none of the rest of us wanted to use it anymore. I shouldn't say that. That's been good to me. It's been very good to me.
Yeah.
But Matthew Kaufman with Berserkly got back to us first. So we went up to Northern California. We stayed at the Bay Bridge Motel in El Cerrito, right there off of like a drawbridge, 2 doors down from where they took that picture for Willie and the Poor Boys.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it still looked remarkably like that because you have to remember this was only 12 years after that album.
Right.
So we walked down the street and we recognized it immediately. And so anyway, he gets us up there. He comes down to Dallas with Greg Ken and his people because Greg Ken was I guess the biggest thing they had. I mean, they weren't my favorite Berserkly act. I bet you know my favorite Berserkly act.
Everybody's the Rubiners.
Absolutely. It's nobody else. Let's just talk about the Rubiners. And so he says, well, you should come on out. And Victor Rocky, who was a booking agent for them, and he's one of the best booking agents I've ever seen. He could get you a gig on a moment's notice on a weekend. He had that kind of clout in the Bay Area.
Wow. That is
we got there on Wednesday night. We played at the Stone on Friday night. That's how good he was. But anyway, so then these funny things start happening. Victor Rocky gave me John Rubin's phone number, strangely enough. So I called John Rubin. Never talked to a guy in my life. I don't know what I'm going to say. I mean, he's still quite a young guy, but he's older than I am. Yeah. So I'm thinking, well, what are you going to say? But he breaks the ice with one of the funniest things anybody ever said to me. He said, "You're calling from their office." Because they were kind of fighting with Matthew. He said, "Oh, that's priceless." He laughed very hard. "You're calling me from their office." So Greg sent us a letter that said, if something happens to Matthew's, the deal we have with Matthew, he wants to put out the record. And he kind of knew the business better than a bunch of kids like us did, in that he kind of expected what happened. Because John said to me, "Look, I don't know if this is happening to you, but here's what's happening to me. To what happened to us? You know, we were promised this and we weren't given it. We were saying go ahead and spend your advance money. We'll give it back to you, and things like this. You know, it's already happened. So a
record company lying to a band. Who would have thunk it?
It never happens. Never.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we end up down here. We end up down here in LA, and we go over to San Fernando Road. I had a bunch of Bomp stationery, you know, that had that address, 2702 San Fernando Road.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just showed up. You know, I mean, I think we still had the trailer or something. And he was very pleased to see us. And one thing led to another. And we ended up going into. Did you ever know a guy named Doug Moody?
I didn't.
Mystic Records.
I know that, but not him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he spotted us the studio time. And Greg was obsessed with the idea of trying to match the Beatles thing. But people always say this and they say it wrong. They did their whole album, their first album in one day. No, they didn't. They had 4 tracks to work with.
Right.
And Greg was obsessed with us doing this in 16 hours. 14 songs, 16 hours, you know, and I'm just going nuts. And there are these guys coming in and out of the studios that I don't even know. And I'm going, could you guys talk? Can you take it over there? Because I'm trying to get this done. I'm trying to do what Greg wants me to do. I'm trying to get this finished. And he had a lot of those ideas are his too. He had a very funny idea on the last song on that record where he said, can you do, I had something else for the solo there. And he said, can you do James Burton? I said, yeah, I can do a half-assed impression of James Burton. And that kind of worked, you know, and it was good enough. I was 20 years old, you know, and so what ended up happening was we got to the next, what would have been the next step. And Greg had this friend, and I know you're a collector. Do you remember a record called My White Bicycle by Tomorrow?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Okay, you guys remember who the producer was on that?
Was it not Joe Meek?
No, it wasn't. I guess
Shall Tell Me?
No, that's a real good guess. So it was a guy named Mark Wirtz Peters.
Oh, yeah. The teenage opera guy. Yeah.
That guy, yes. That guy. And
almost
yeah, he, you know, but anyway, so Greg thinks it would be a good idea to have him work with me. Couldn't get oil and water if you wanted better, or a flat with a bunch of oil on it. The difference between me and this guy. We couldn't agree on lunch. But he gave me one of the best compliments I ever got. He said, "You're more bloody difficult to work with than John Lennon." Hey, wow. I'll take that one. Yeah, because he was an engineer at Abbey Road before that. And he had done a couple of their sessions when nobody else could show up. And I'm more bloody difficult than John Lennon. I'll take that as a badge of honor, man, particularly from you. So what he ended up doing was this record that was like trying to turn us into pop music at the time, trying to turn us into like Wham or something. And we just said,
oh, wow.
No, not under any circumstances. I would rather walk. He had Al Corey at MC. He had a couple of people interested in this pile of dreck, but not me, not my brother. It's like, no, we're gonna walk. You can't tell me you won't want to. I said, I can tell you right now, no. I gotta live with myself. Can't do garbage like that. So that's what happened. That's what happened to the Bomp thing. He tried to hand us off there where Mark was supposed to produce. And when that fell through, we decided, well, you know what? We'll do something else. You know, we'll do what I call electrified Americana. It ended up being the Border Snakes. And yes, Karen was in the Border Snakes. Karen, yes, Karen is one of my biggest fans in the entire world. If you're watching Hi.
I told her that you would be on and how to watch. So hopefully she is.
Well, yeah. Well, what's great about this stuff too is I can take it and send it to anybody I don't think saw it. It's like, here, I'm just take it and send it to you, and things. So for a period of time, we did that, and then there's this guy named Matthew Street, and that's not his real name. You know where he got.
I know him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his own Beatles channel. That's where he got Matthew Street. And but I'm footing by there because the Beatles have always been my comfort zone. If I'm depressed, if I'm anything, I go to the Beatles or the Beach Boys, and the Byrds will be third probably. And so I'm listening to this guy. He's talking about the Beatles. Next week I tune in. Mother of God, he's reviewing that album you held up, the Numbers Anthology. And I'm like, oh my God. And yeah, right there. And I actually said to my brother, what if we just do what we used to? There's an audience for this. There's an audience for it, and I think we can do it real well. I mean, to put it mildly, I think I'm pretty well, so that's what we did. The next songs we wrote, and we had a whole record, and then the bomb thing was really funny because Bachelor Records, you know who those guys are from Austria?
I don't.
They distribute that record, that anthology in Europe for us. They also distribute the new one.
This is a currently okay. I see what you mean.
Records, yeah, and they in order to license it, she owed me some money. So we looked at each other, and she asked me the magic words. What are you guys doing now? It's funny you should ask. Here it is. It's funny you should ask because it's exactly what we did, except of course we're older and more accomplished. But it's it was fortuitous. It was like one lucky thing led to another until finally we had this. And it's funny too because I can go with templates, and I can do them all the way down. As a matter of fact, there's a Del Shannon song on Bad Day Out. Bet you can't guess which one it is. At the Speed of Darkness. At the Speed of Darkness, it even has the upper register falsetto vocals. That's me. From Keep Searching. Just to
okay.
Everybody that I know who that was, and I loved his records. Is there anybody that ever got more mileage out of just strumming a Telecaster? I mean,
probably not.
I mean that loud Telecaster, just love it, And so I would always go with templates, and I had to do Brian. And I'm glad I did it before before he passed away, because I wouldn't want to be seen as exploiting somebody who meant that.
Sure.
And so it was in the can a long time before Brian passed away. And so that's basically how that came together. And we've had those two other guys on the back of the record. Do you have the album as well?
Oh, I have the LP, but not in the room. I've forgotten there's a different photo.
Yeah. There are photos of us on the back, and those two other guys who are in the band have been with us for 23 years. So we're one of the longest existing bands I know of. I mean, it's been the same four guys for 23 years, and
very cool.
And we're almost finished with the next one.
Oh wow! Terry, if I may, let me go back to the anthology.
Okay.
I want to play this. I do want to play a couple of songs from it, and then 3 songs from the new album.
Okay.
But This is the song that, according to the liner notes, and this is where I should have said, wait a minute,
Okay.
but I didn't.
Okay.
This is a song that Eric Carmen supposedly said inspired him to be a better writer. And he said, I never could quite meet the quality of this song until I wrote All by Myself. And right then I should have said, wait, this is not right.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
this is the first song on the album and is still my favorite. And yeah, I mean, it could have certainly been a hit had it been recorded in the 60s. As the liner said, it was a big song in LA and other places on the West Coast. But let's see what everyone thinks. If you haven't heard this song, it's called different things depending on where you look on the record, but I'm going to call it Can't Sleep at Night. And here we go, by The Numbers.
Yes.
And it's got the little...
Yes.
I can't sleep at night.
Good volume, Mark?
But between the mistakes and what they call the breaks, seems you went and left me anyway. But I never thought of losing you. Never thought there'd be a time. Tell me, what can I do? Because I can't sleep at night. I can't sleep at night. Now that I'm lonely, I can't sleep at night. Tell me what to do. I can't sleep at night. Every time I close my eyes, I can't stop thinking about you. And in spite of the lies, I apologize for when you back. Tell me what can I do, but and if it's a mistake I'll be making, don't tell me I don't wanna know. Don't you see I just can't make it, I just can't take it anymore because I can't sleep at night. I can't sleep at night. I'm lonely. I can't sleep at night. Tell me what to do. I can't sleep at night. And if it's a mistake I'll be making, don't you know I'm gonna be okay? Yeah, you know I'm making it fine, girl. Here in the devil's delight. I can't sleep at night. I can't sleep at night. I'm lonely. I can't sleep at night. Tell me what to do. I can't sleep at night. Whoa, I can't sleep at night. Oh no, I can't sleep at night. I can't sleep at night. Oh no, I can't sleep at night.
No, I gotta say, in retrospect, and maybe even at the time, I thought, well, the production on here doesn't quite sound 60s, but at that time, I'm also in my early 20s, and I'm thinking, well, different studio, who knows? But I did know this. I loved it. It sounded like something that could have certainly been a hit had it been out at the time.
Do you
So,
know that-
I mean, go ahead.
David, do you know the Who story? Do you know the Who story? We knew the guy who won the
Oops.
one of Townsend's guitars, one of it was some drumsticks from Kenny Jones. And it was like the guitar I used throughout that album is Pete Townsend's number 9 Les Paul.
Wow. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That and I've seen as many as 16 as far as his numbers go. The heaviest guitar I've ever picked up. He had like 18 million different pedals built into it. So all you had to do was flip the title switch and it'd make these strange but wonderful sounds. It would just do that. So
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, we did have that. And
Just so you know, Terry, occasionally you've been freezing a bit, so we would lose you for anywhere from a split second to like 5 seconds.
okay.
So just so you know, in case we don't respond right away to something you say, that could be why. But let me ask you something about this. So obviously this was designed not necessarily to be a hoax, but to be maybe a pastiche. Were you marketing? Were there ever any singles released from the album? Did you go to radio stations to try to get a contemporary hit? Or there
wasn't officially a single, but we did go to radio stations. I remember delivering the record personally to Rodney on the Rock.
Of course, Rodney, yes.
Right, and you know the hip stations, KXLU down there by Loyal, Marymount, a lot of these things. I did those myself. Because some people call me a megalomaniac, and I don't think that's true. I just like things done right. And if I call you later on, you say, I couldn't get to that today, man. Well, I could have. Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I remember when you agreed to be on the IPO CD with The Coast is Clear. You did it all right away, and I remarked about how cool that was. You said, look, if I have something I need to do, I want to get it done. I want to make sure it gets done, and I want to make sure it gets done right. And I admire that.
Yeah, that's a byword with me. As a matter of fact, you might call that my OCD, and that I can't stand it when things aren't done. And it's like, no, we gotta get this. But yeah, and yes, I think that's. Yeah, from this many years distance from it, I think that's my favorite song on that record too. So, and I think we kind of knew that at the time, and that's why I put it in my head. You want to grab somebody's attention, give them the first one.
Yes,
and yeah.
So it's always important that the first song is the one that really does grab attention. Anyway, go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say, talking about the album, for those not familiar with the numbers story, if I put it back up again, left to right, who's on the cover?
I am the guy on your left.
Right.
The guy who's kind of like Davy Jones. The guy in the middle is Robert Gill, drummer, and my brother's on your right. He's the bass player and singer, and sings with me and all that. That's who we are.
And how many? Do you know how many copies were pressed of the album? Do you know?
It got interesting, and what I'm talking about is we go to Europe and we'd see people with it in their hands, and we weren't even told it was being sold over there. We go to Canada and find the same thing. We go to and things. So I don't know how many were pressed. I do know that because of this research happened to be there, that there were a lot more people than I would have thought with this record. They get in touch with me all the time. I'm like, if you would have asked me, I would have said something real snide, like, I think we might have sold 250 of them. I had no way, but all those who come out of the woodwork who actually did buy the record, and that's wonderful. That's
because if you actually did sell only 250, it'd probably be worth about $5,000 today.
You're right. I mean, and I think I still have one back here in this closet. As a matter of fact, my brother has one on the wall in the.
Of course, I have mine that I bought back in I think I bought it in '84. I think it took me a few months before I found out about it. But so how was it that you were able to finance getting to Europe at that time?
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is that we knew. This way, but we knew people who would book us, who'd been to like Dallas, who'd been to like LA and seen us, and we had people. We know people in Europe. We know people, as they say, on the continent, whatever. So we could do the scrape and buy. You'll have a place on the floor for me to sleep and things, and that was fine with us. We're that young.
Sure.
down here, and I think it was cut off again.
Yeah, it just got a little stuck there for a second. But you had said you'd sleep on floors. You were that young, and then that's where we kind of lost you. But
yeah, well, yeah, and what's funny is now I probably do the same thing. You know, I because that's just what I love to do. Everything else you do in life, to me, is getting to get where you're gonna do just what you want to do.
yeah, sure.
And I'm in a real good position in my life to do that right now.
Well, that's wonderful.
Susie's been great. Everybody's been great.
The B-side of the single, I Can't Sleep at Night, was a song called All Night Lover that Robert Dill supposedly wrote. Was there ever a recording of that, or was that totally
a funky declaration of his personal machismo?
That's right. That's right.
No, of course not. If Robert, it becomes even funnier. And that Robert is one of the most unassuming people that you'd ever meet. He would never talk about his. This isn't All Through the Night by the Raspberries, which was kind of staying with me. But this was kind of, Robert's the last guy who would do anything like that, except maybe me, and I'm not like that either. So that's why it was funny. It was like a personal in joke. It's like, what can you not imagine Robert saying or doing? Well, that All Night Lover. It ended up with one of the Manson family girls, I believe, who ended up selling candles at the Renaissance Fair. Did you get to that point?
Right, that's right. Yeah, I did. It's been a while, but yeah, I got to all the liners, and again, the second half, I was just laughing my whole way through it.
Yeah. Take its role in People Token, the live on Protection Records, us and singer-songwriter. Yeah, but it's been wonderful thus far. It just seems to keep getting bigger and bigger. We're getting a lot more airplay in a lot of places. And,
that is wonderful.
And a lot of it's Go ahead.
I was going to say, let me play one other song from the record. This one was supposedly an unreleased track that this anthology gathered up. It's probably to me, it's the prettiest song on the record, and was very, of course, really glad to hear it. So here we go. Previously unreleased, except for on this anthology, which is true, I suppose, of any record that has never come out until it's on vinyl. This is a song called Sometime in the Afternoon by The Numbers. Here we go.
Thank you.
Want to
Man, that's really good.
Such a pretty song. What was the inspiration behind that one?
Left Bank. Left Bank.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they were huge. But it was that first album to us. They were huge. So that was the Left Bank song on that record.
That album's in my top 10 of all time, by the way.
Oh, it is mine too. She may call you up tonight. You know, the things that don't get played. Like I've got something in my mind. These are just great songs.
Oh,
they
yeah.
are.
I'm a huge Left Bank fan. She Is Everything on the new record.
Did you say it was inspired by the Left Bank? We lost you for a second.
Yes. She Is Everything is the Left Bank song on the new record. I always look for my inspirations, and I agree with you. I love that album.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah,
you know,
incredible.
You know, but anyway.
I just wanted to, we're talking about the liner notes and how crazy it gets the more you read it. That's on the back of the album right there. You see all the little print that goes on and on and on, just so everybody knows. And I'll tell you the truth, as we're listening to that song, I was looking up on eBay. Copies of this album are going for anywhere from $35 to $75 on eBay. And on Discogs, it's in the $30-$35 range from
not bad
with a lot of shipping. So it's selling for a healthy amount of money. Well,
as a matter of fact, this is good timing. Bachelor is supposed to be re-releasing that here in the States too.
Do you know when? And it's coming out on vinyl and CD, correct?
Hello.
Yeah, Terry, go ahead. Say it again, Terry.
It's coming out on vinyl and CD, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. First time on CD.
Yes. Yes. Well, it'll be on both, and they're putting it out because they had so much success with it in Europe. I have a funny story about just accidentally running into this guy on Facebook, who's one of the major wheeler dealers there at Bachelor Records. He's going, "You're Terry Tutor with the numbers." And I'm thinking, wow, okay. We just love your record. We've done it, and it was fortuitous because we just gotten this new one, Mad Day Out, and I could just ask him bluntly, so you love that one. Can you distribute us the new one over there? Oh yeah, we'd love to. So, and nice. I was just thinking that I was running into somebody, because there are a lot of those things, and you and I have a lot of Facebook friends in common. So,
yes, we do.
Where a lot of those people come from. I just thought it was another one of these people who listens to Pop Rocks radio and, places like this. I didn't know it was a guy from Bachelor Records until he told me. It's like, okay, all right. Yeah, that worked.
Very cool.
No, that is wonderful. But here's the big question that I have to ask. So what was going on with the numbers between the time this comes out and you're touring Europe and now? What were you guys doing?
We were the Border Snakes. It's a band. You can look that up on YouTube. There's a Border Snakes channel on YouTube.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we released, I think, 6 albums, self-released, because I could never get along. I'm telling myself, I was always looking for a particular deal.
Wait, so we lost you again. Sorry, you were looking for what?
I was always looking for a deal. See, we do 6 Border Snakes albums, I believe. Counting right, but they're all self-released because I was always looking for a deal that nobody gives you in the music business anymore. I didn't want anybody to tell me what kind of music we were supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
it looked like. That's not your job. If you want to distribute for me, but the rest of this is immaterial because you're going to be some clown who pants or whatever, and who doesn't know what he's talking about, but he's got this cool man. You know, so there were like 6 of them. So yeah, we were the border snakes. I mean, Karen could have filled you in on that because I ran into her. Strangely enough, okay, I forgot to do this. Happy Buddy Holly's birthday, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's Buddy's birthday. But 5 days ago, 30 years exactly, September 2nd was when I met Karen.
It's my birthday,
Really?
September
What
2nd,
the-
1958. Yeah.
What are the chances of that? I mean,
364 to 1, I guess.
yeah, I guess so. But really, you know, that's not very good odds. I mean, you know,
No.
September.
That's wonderful. So you met her on September 2nd, what year?
1958.
I was there to run into somebody I used to know who was in a band with us in the 80s, and ended up running into her, and she's been nothing but wonderfully supportive on anything I ever, you know, wanted to do. I was, you know, and you know, I can't say enough for you know, for the people who stay with us. But that's what we were doing. We were playing all the time. We did a lot of things. You know, we did a lot of things at you know, at Club Lingerie, any of those plays. Of course, the Whiskey, the Roxy, the Key Club after what it was before, and the Viper Room. Cinegrill was one of my favorite gigs, and we did one of our birthday shows at the El Rey Theater. So we were working. It was just a different kind of thing. I just now, you know, because
I'm sorry. What was the Border Snakes music like? Was it also pop or some other genre?
People would use phrases like, I'd use a phrase like electrified Americana. People could call it alt country, except we had a guy who sang with us who I gave soul songs to. So I was basically taking everything out of the kitchen sink and trying to create my own review. Basically, we had 4 different singers. Yeah, and each person has their own field of expertise, and everybody else sings harmony with them and things. So I got him in the band. I said, I'm going to write you a song. Come to rehearsal. So I got him in the band for several years there. So if we were alt country, we weren't like any alt country band you've ever seen. So that, you know, it was roots rock, I guess. You know. Had a lot of Everly Brothers going on because that's me and my brother.
That's very nice.
And things. But to tell you the truth, I was so happy for this stuff to happen because I told one of these guys, I'm so tired of being thought of as a honky tonk guy. Really? And Karen will hate me for that. She loves the honky tonk guy. But, you know, it's like, oh, please. You know, you can do that if you want to. You think it's exotic. I'm from Texas. I know it's not exotic. But I'm as happy to be in this new one is certainly power pop. Probably will rock a little bit more. I'm leaning on the switch and the tempos a little bit more for this one because somebody somewhere said we were, you know, it's a lot mellower. Brad Kyle said that it's a lot mellower, and that's not a bad thing. How dare you call me mellow? Jesus.
Okay. I wouldn't call the new album mellow. It's different. If people were expecting more of 64 to 67, they weren't going to get that. But it's a very pretty album. I don't think I would call it mellow, and there are certainly some songs that would qualify as power pop. But it's all pop. And let's play our first track from it, which is the first track on the album, If I Didn't Have You. I think, this one kind of hits it out of the park right away. It shows where you're at right now. So here we go from Mad Day Out, the first track on the album called If I Didn't Have You on Material Issues.
I would sit around the house and lose some time. Wake up doing 80, going nowhere in my mind. I would waste a lot of pretty words, but none of them would be true. Yeah, I know just what I'd do if I didn't have you. I would take a lot of trips that only last a couple miles. Stumble back from anywhere with nothing but a smile. In between I drink up everything, but none of it would be new. Yeah, I know just what I'd do if I didn't have you. Well, I think my independence might be exactly what I need. Like falling from the highest place into something I can't see. In between, I'd be the biggest joke, the biggest laugh, the biggest fool. Yeah, I know just what I'd do if I didn't have you. In between, I'd be the biggest joke, the biggest laugh, the biggest fool. Yeah, I know just what I'd do if I didn't have you.
You know what that song sounds like to me? And if you've seen the movie, you'll get exactly what I'm talking about. It sounds like something that James Mattingly would have recorded with a herdsman.
You're
Yeah.
exactly right. The herdsman's it's one of the five senses. A herdsman. One of my favorite movies. And yes, my younger brother makes that analogy too. That
Wow. Okay.
it's like a movie song. And well, Greg called it the movie song for a long time after we recorded it. So, yes, and the plain truth of the matter is, that's about as straight as Beatles. I mean, we can all be obscure and say it's the Sponge Tones, but you know, and I love the Sponge Tones. But
Oh God, yeah.
we're both just getting it from the same place. Why don't we just say that?
That's what I know. A lot of people say, well, you're ripping off. Couldn't it be that you both, not knowing each other, happen to have the same influences? Especially when you're talking about a Beatles influence. I mean, how many bands had that? Like thousands and thousands. So, yeah, of course.
Right. And you see, I never understood. I never understand things of this, but they're from North Carolina, and we played with them a long time ago. Now it's like '83.
Yeah, I mean that's when the beat music came out, right around the same time as the Numbers anthology. So yeah.
Yes, we did. And I'm trying to think, it might have even been some. No, it was a Music Machine. It's a Music Machine. I was going to say, was that Cathay DeGrand? Well, that's another story. But do you remember Cathay DeGrand at all?
I don't know who that is.
Well, Cathay DeGrand was a club.
Cafe. I think you said Kathy. I'm thinking, who is that?
Cathay DeGrand. They were a Chinese food restaurant upstairs, but they were a club downstairs. And a funny story about that too, because the band that played in front of us sometime in '83, maybe it was even '82, played in front of us was Johnny Depp's people. It was the Kids.
Oh wow!
And And my brother said, "Well, I don't think much of him, but that guy's really good looking. He can probably be some kind of star or something." Yeah,
He wasn't wrong.
yeah, he wasn't wrong at all. And Johnny got some better guys to play with, so that they get he gets a better deal all the way around. Yeah, I mean but I thank you guys so much for doing this. This has been wonderful for me, and
Oh, this is great. This is.
Wait, do you need to leave? Because we have more we can do.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, come on. You're not going to get Terry Tutor to talk about himself. See, I just did it in the third person. That's always a bad idea. But anyway, no.
There's a nice quote.
I'm in this for as long as you guys want to do it. You guys are very interesting. I haven't talked to you very much. You live on the East Coast, huh?
Who, me?
You, yes.
Yes, I'm just outside of Philadelphia in South Jersey. And,
okay.
Yeah, and I've been in the music business for a long time. I've known David forever. I've got Pop Detective Records. I've got a lot of things going on. So David's been a good friend of mine through a lot of years, and international pop overthrow stuff, and writing for Oddities and Amplifier and Gold Mine, and we've just been intertwined in this power pop community for a long time. So,
well, it's funny because
Right back at
Karen's husband is Bob Malone, and you know Bob. David.
I've met him, but I don't really know him. Yeah.
They're two of my favorite people in the whole world. Me and Bob toured. Could get away. And his piano, we could just be off. So they're two of my favorite people. But he's from that area of Jersey.
okay.
There are different areas, and he's from that area.
Yeah, I'm down here, like Cherry Hill area,
right across from Philadelphia. That's the big thing.
Yes, yeah, on the Philly side, which of things. But yeah, we've been through there quite a bit. Most of those places were really good places to play. It's that Spinal Tap joking. Boston's not a college town, so. A lot of those great college towns, And, Boston canceled, but they're not a college town. So.
Great line, yeah. It's a great line.
Now Terry, you mentioned some, maybe I'm not sure I heard you correctly, but about if I didn't have you, you said, I thought I heard you say Greg said that it was a movie song. So obviously Greg Shaw passed away about 20 years ago.
No, Greg Kruger.
Oh, okay.
The guitar player in the band.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, the other guy, the other guitar player. And
I was doing the math too.
Yeah, because these songs are kind of they're newly written. They're not.
Oh,
old,
they are.
Right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
No. That wasn't a reference to Greg. Greg died what, 2008?
Oh, maybe it was that. Yeah. He had actually contacted me. He had contacted me, asking me to work on a project with him. And I said, well, I'm heading to Liverpool to do international pop overthrow. But when I get back, let's talk about it. And he had passed away.
Yeah, he had a lot of health problems toward the end.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Let me tell you a quick story about Greg. This is the kind of guy he was. My friend Mark, a different Mark, and I were talking back in the early 80s, and we were talking about the Pebbles and the Highs in the mid 60s series. And we were under, because we knew Kookaburra, Australia, where these things supposedly were, we knew that was phony.
Yeah.
So we're saying, but somebody put these out. And I said, there's only one person I know who knows enough about records and would have enough of these records to do this. And that's Greg Shaw. Yeah. We've never met him, but I said, let's go down to the bomb headquarters on San Fernando Road, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So we go there and we knock on the door, and this other guy named Paul answers the door.
Paul Grant.
Yeah, and so we say, we're big fans of the series, but was it Greg that put them out? And he said, oh, no, it wasn't Greg. We just distribute them here at Bomb. And that was that. And we got really disappointed. We were bummed, but we left. And a few weeks later, I said, you know what? Let's go back. I don't know about this, but I want to meet Greg. So let's go back there. So we did. And this time, Greg answers the door. And I asked the same question. Did you guys put out these records? And he said, yes, we did. Come on in. So we come on in, and he says, and here, here's the room where we did Pebbles, and come into the artwork room. We're working on a new volume of Highs in the Mid 60s. I want you to see it. And so we struck up a friendship. That either I or Mark or the two of us would go back there occasionally, and we would talk to him, and he made some tapes. The band Choose, who were one of my all-time favorite bands, they had an album called One in Versailles, which was impossible to find. And Greg said, well, I have a tape of it. I'll copy it for you. And that was the first time I ever heard it. But the one quirk that Greg had is, if let's say you and I were in the room with him and one of us answered a question, or asked him a question rather, he would respond and he would only look directly at the person who asked the question. You know how sometimes you're in a room and you're talking to someone, you don't want to ignore the other person. So you'll look over them just to make sure that they know that. Greg would never do that. He would only look at the question asker, and he would concentrate on them for the entire time he answered the question. I'd never seen anyone else do that, but that was something.
Well,
that was
I got to volunteer something about Paul Grant. Paul Grant, talking about a funny New Yorker. I mean, he had his old friends. He went to high school had some Dick Manitoba with the Dictators and all. So he had all these solid, really, really New York friends. And that was his sense of humor. Really, really dry. He thought the idea was if he just got you to go away, that it would preserve the integrity of what we were doing here. Which I don't get it. You were supposed to get the joke, Paul, but I understand why Paul would do that. He would have thought it was funny.
Well, we figured, they don't want us to know they printed, because these were not even quite gray area. They were closer to black area. Yeah. And I thought, but Greg, I mean, I think he saw us and he pegged us as fans, not from the RIAA or anything. And he knew that he could tell us this without any culpability whatsoever. So, I'm really glad he did. Anyway, let's get back to the new album. I want to play another track from it. This is, again, a really pretty song that that's one of my favorites on the record. It's the 6th track called A Little Time. Tell us a bit about that one.
Okay. New songs. This is funny because like I said, I work with pimples and things. It's Somewhere Between For No One by the Beatles and You Still Believe in Me by the Beach Boys.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Somewhere between those two things, even the thing that sounds like a tack piano, which we actually did by using an auto harp, so nobody had to get their hands dirty reaching into a piano. Two of my favorite songs of all time. So it's
reflected in the quality of this track. So let's everyone get ready for this one. This is from the new album by the Numbers, Mad Day Out, and it's called A Little Time here on Material Issues.
Somewhere in the afternoon came a sound I never thought I'd hear, and somewhere later in the evening came a feeling all too clear, and somewhere in the morning we two became one and one. One sunset, then a rise, this love became undone, and he took so little time. What was ours became yours or mine, and he took a little little time. Somewhere in the number of days I remember everything, and somewhere later I'll recognize what time alone will bring, and somewhere down the road I'll let go of all of this. I will let go, and in time with all that I miss. And it took so little time. What was I became yours or mine, and you took 3 little words. What was said and what we heard. The last word, no goodbye. All it took was a little time. All it took was a little time.
Yeah, that's really pretty, Terry. I have to say.
Thank you. Well, it's great because you know I'm the composer anyway. I write music, but it's when you have somebody like my brother, you've lived in the same on top of each other 62 years or whatever it is now. All I got to do is look at him. He had the second verse, so it's one of those because he knew what I was doing my for no wonder you still believe in me. He knew where I was trying to go with that, and it's always easy. It's always easy.
Well, for everybody listening right now, just to remind people, running across the bottom, we've got numbers2025.com. That's the website for all things about the numbers, and bompstore.com. That's bompstore.com. Just some of the places you can get it. Terry and the numbers, they're out there on Bandcamp. Of course, you can probably find it all the usual places if you're looking for a Mad Day Out. But if not, bompstore.com, numbers2025.com. Check it out.
Available on both vinyl and CD, so no excuses, people. You definitely have at least one of those modes of music. So you gotta go out and get it. No, downloads are all well and good, but the physical product is where it's at. So definitely support the bands you love by buying it.
Did you ever hear what Tom Petty said about that? He said, well, he's talking about streaming. He said, well, you're only getting like 20% of the music. Any of these other formats carry more of the depth of the resonance of music better than streaming will ever, because streaming is built on tiny things.
Right.
And the larger the thing is, and that was a hustle that they sold us back in the 80s so we could all buy record collections again. Sound is produced on waves, and something this big isn't going to sound as good as something this tiny. That's just nonsense. It's based on waves. But they got us all to buy our collections again. So,
That's right. Well, some of us fortunately didn't get rid of them when streaming came along because we knew better.
Yeah.
Yes, and we know better too. We don't. That's why we did this, and you get records from us from here on out. Because I know what my preferred format is, and a lot of my friends that's their preferred format.
Which is it?
Vinyl.
They're both. They both have their. I mean, I think they both have their features. there are conveniences, inconveniences, different areas of beauty. But yeah, vinyl's wonderful too.
Well, and I've got another funny one. Takes a little heat off of the idea that I'm being pretentious anyway. Is that if you've been as blind as I've been most of my life, and now I can see, this is amazing. I had two eye operations in the past few months and things. Now I can see from basically.
I remember. Congrats! That's wonderful news.
And I always liked, one of the reasons I liked vinyl is the big pictures. Okay, you get something you can actually see. I'm like, you want me to look at some little thing, that's, a jewel casing on a CD. You want me to look at something that tiny and make heads or tails out of it? I'm not going to be able to.
And you're never going to be able to read the liner notes on the back of this on CD. Forget it.
No, that isn't happening. Although I did talk to Susie about well, maybe if you took a little bit of that pink out of there, maybe you could see it a little more. I think you could, but maybe that's too cost prohibitive. But if she really wanted people to read the line notes, and I did offer to do this for her too. I said, if you want me just to write them down, because I know them, I have them committed to memory.
I see that.
You want me just to write them down? You can put in an insert with the record. I'll do that because it would frustrate me no end not to be able to see that. Yeah. It's like, because I thought it was funny, and I'm glad there were some people who did get the joke. Like I said, the people who reviewed it got it. Everybody, these other people, every once in a while, there's a guy up at University of Eastern Washington, wherever that is. But anyway, they were playing the record until he finally read all the liner notes, and he got incensed at us, like we were sly pop manorists. And I got that wonderful comparison, and I might not say this, but he's kind of like Doug Feiger. He might spit up on your shoulder any second. He's always being facetious and sarcastic. It's not me, and Doug wasn't really that way either. But
he wasn't. He wasn't. Well, let me play the song that is on the International Pop Overthrow compilation, which just came out on Friday officially. We had them at the festival, so I was giving them away there. But Omnivore finally released it on Friday, and it's volume 26. It's got 66 pop-tastic tracks by bands from all over the world, who either played the festival or in some cases were bands who I approached and said, I think this song would be wonderful for the compilation. And that's what happened with you guys. Yes. When Karen sent me this track, I fell in love with it immediately. And it's rare for me to ask a band for a 5-minute track because, I want to get as many bands as possible on these. And, 5 minutes can be 2 songs in certain cases, but this was so good that I had to request it, and I thank you so much for agreeing to have it on there.
That was the last song we recorded for the record because I kept putting everybody off. I kept going, this is going to be so much stuff. There's so much stuff that I play personally in this, and there are so many harmonies, and we're doing this huge thing. It's got to be you can't fake one of those. If you're going to go with Brian Wilson, you've got to do this, and it couldn't be any shorter. With a thing in the middle, with the bridge in the middle, it couldn't be any shorter than 5 minutes.
No, you did it exactly right, and it's a wonderful track, and I think our listeners will agree. So Here we go. This is track number 12 on the album. Is called The Coast is Clear, and it's from Mad Day Out. Here we are.
Clear as a bell, yeah, that rings true. From the bottom of a well, it all comes back to you. kind of what you wanted, but it's mostly who you are. From the top of Mulholland to the nearest star. Breathe in now, breathe out, baby, all you have to do. Leave in, then leave out what's left to go with you. The coast is clear and I can find my way from here. It's round the bend, I've been there enough to come back again. And it is so small way, every day could be like today. I'll stay right here, the coast is clear. I'm standing by the ocean, remembering a time when all in one motion, it all seemed right. The echo of a long night that never brought you rest. Make tracks to the sunlight and the sound you know best. Breathe in now, breathe out, baby, all you have to do. Leave in, then leave out what's left to go with you. The coast is clear and I can find my way from here. It's round the bend, I've been there enough to come back again. And in its own small way, every day can be like today. I'll stay right here, the coast is clear. I can't find my way back. Getting closer every day. I've been lost so long. It's where I will stay. Now I'm coming It's where I will stay. The coast is clear and I can find my way from here. It's round the bend, I've been there enough to come back again. And in its own sweet way, every day could be like today. I'll stay right here, the coast is clear.
Such a gorgeous song.
Thank you.
You know what I really love in the bridge. You know, you've got. I assume that's you singing the high vocal,
Yes.
and then suddenly that lower register vocal comes in as a counterpoint. That was a nice touch. Is that Larry or is that you?
That is
also?
Larry. That is Larry. Yes, we're answering each other the way the Beach Boys would answer each other. We're trying to. Yeah, that's like a see Michael Edward Love. I always call him by his whole name. Michael Edward Love wasn't really a bass singer. He always sang these parts that aren't really even in the bass register. But that would be reminiscent of something he would have done. Now, Brian probably would have handed it to him, but he would have gotten to sing it. And years later, sue his cousin and say it was all his idea.
Right.
But yeah, that's me and Larry. That's it's one of my favorite bits too, because my joke is when we didn't have that is that, well, kind of taking it to Crosby's, Nash and Youngville there, without the answer, it doesn't do that circular thing that people use to rounds. And it had to. I wasn't going to leave that alone. I was going to go, no, we got to come up with another thing here. And my brother, like I said, he's always been easy for me to work with anyway. He's always very good at just coming up with things,
Does he live close by?
As a matter of fact, we live in the same house.
Oh,
so he's pretty close.
That's very close.
I was going to say he's pretty close. Yeah.
Does he want to come in and say hi?
No. I tried to get him to do this, and it's one of these things where I can tell you that okay, do you remember when the Flaming Groovies released Shake Some Action and then didn't tour? Because Cyril Jordan said he was building the mystique, right? Yeah. And that's my brother. He thinks he's building the mystique. Now, don't get mad at me, Larry. You've got to admit it is funny. It is funny.
I mean, the mystique isn't entirely there because there's a photo of him on.
He's the guy in the upper left-hand corner there. He's the guy with the long hair. I'm the guy with the curly hair.
Now, who is this little boy on the cover?
Oh, this is a hard one. Billy is my biological son. But my brother and his wife have custody of him. And without getting too far, I don't really want to get too far into that because that's not what I'm here for. But I had a marriage that, like a lot of people's, we were together for 12 years. We were married for 10. And just one day it just wasn't there anymore. And a whole bunch of things had happened. And at a certain point, I had to keep going back and forth she was Brazilian, still is, I guess, Brazilian. And I had to keep going back and forth. So Larry and so that's the specific answer is he's everybody here's kid. He's my kid. He's Larry's kid. And he's Diane's kid. I mean,
and he lives in the house with you?
Yes, indeed, he does. As a matter of fact, I think I heard him trying to come in just a second ago.
And what's his name?
Billy. It's the last.
Okay.
It's the last song on the record, the surf instrumental.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and that is a melody. That is a melody that I used to sing to him even before he was born. And Larry was the one that told me, you ought to make it into a surf instrumental. Okay, I can do that.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's a nice tribute.
Yeah.
So let me ask, so what, as far as are the numbers going to be playing live in support of these?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we definitely will be doing that sometime later this month or next month. One of those. I've got to coordinate with everybody else's schedule, and I'm not talking about. I can always get Greg and Voice. A lot of times because of Larry's family obligations, he's the guy I've got to check on with because all the rest of us are kind of no-account musicians. My brother's a functioning adult, so he has responsibilities. You know, and I can say that without fear of contradiction. Everybody who knows us, we know that. But yeah, yes, the answer is yes, and I want to, and I'm going to bring a lot of players. I mean, because you know, I told you this a few months ago that I don't like it when I go and see people and the record sounded this way, but because it's now just we'll just do it with 4 pieces, man. I'm sorry, but that doesn't work for me. And if it doesn't work for me, why would it work for anybody else? You know, you know, no. We're going to do it properly because I know so many musicians. As a friend of mine used to say, if you don't know a musician, ask him. He knows everybody. But once you've been in LA for as long as we've been here, there isn't too many people in certain oeuvres anyway, certain genres that I haven't worked with in some capacity. So, and as I said, we got the same 2 other guys there, and Bob and Karen always will be in any time. I shouldn't speak for them, but pretty much any time I ask, they always want to be there. And
that's wonderful too. What's up with Robert Dill these days?
This is kind of sad, and it's not something I want to rag on him about or anything. But at a certain point, he just quit after 26 years. He just quit. Now, the guy who was his best man at his wedding, he stood up like that. Now, he didn't stand us up there. He did let us know that he wasn't going to be there. So he didn't have his best man was standing at the gig and there's nobody there, you know. So at a certain point, he just stopped returning phone calls. And I don't know. You know, I can only guess, you know, and I wish him nothing but the best. I just, you know, the thing I'll say about him was he had more dexterity than any high school drummer I've ever seen. I never saw anybody do those monster kind of Keith Moon fills when they were in high school the way he could. So, you know, he was really good. 26 years is a good run, but all of a sudden it's like, okay. But the guys with us now, he toured with Stevie Wonder in Europe and things like this, and he calls me because I'm not getting in touch with him, and he's hearing from other people that I'm looking for a drummer because Rob left. And he said, "Why did you call me?" I said, "The last time I heard you were in Europe with Stevie Wonder. Where was I supposed to call you?" You know. So, but we got lucky there because voice is a godsend. Voice can do. Those are all one takes. It's all played to a click. It's all played to a click. Guy doesn't make any mistakes. The only thing he'll do is, can I try something a little crazier? That's about it. 1 or 2 takes got them all, and that's to a click. I can't stand music that is out of time. Drives me crazy. You know, started at one tempo and you're off to the races, and it just But you know, he's great, and all the other things, you know, yes, we're planning on doing that. We just got to clear some space where everybody can be at the same place at the same time, and we'll do it. As I said, I'm the last guy here. I'm the last guy here I worry about, in that I know all my songs. I know all the songs. I know, you know, so I don't need to rehearse. But if the band, on the other hand, probably will need to a lot. But
my God, you're the Jackie Gleason of pop. If you ever read about the Honeymooners, he hated to rehearse and he rarely did. He remembered lines, so he had a photographic memory, and he could ad lib with the best of them too.
Yeah, well, I love the Honeymooners. I love Jackie. One of the funniest things is that I can pull songs from far back. I could grab my guitar. I got one of them behind me here. Could grab my guitar and do you all the songs on that anthology. Ask me how many times I played any of those songs in 40 years. What is it, 42? Yeah. Not too many. So, but I do have that kind of memory. I normally remember not just that I read it, but what the typeface was in. You know,
Wow.
and whether it was a blue or a black pen if I wrote it down. You know, and that's something that's before anybody wants to say I'm being arrogant. I'm not arrogant at all. I had nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. And I can remember things that other people couldn't remember. And
I think there's a strong correlation between that kind of memory and OCD.
I do too. And the other thing is they're always saying musicians, we got it better than other people because we have to use our memories and our minds over and over again. Unless you want to stand up there like this is a trend. You'd see people come up with music stands on a rock and roll stage. What are you doing looking at notes? You know, there's an audience out there. There is an audience out there. You know, you should be playing to them. What do you know? But
Right.
That was but that's something that helps me a great deal. I remember, like I said, I could play you probably the first 6 or 7 songs I wrote back when I was 13.
Wow.
You know, fortunately that helps me out, but I think the OCD thing makes me kind of manic at times, and I'm sorry if I'm scaring anybody. I always do this. You know.
No, you're just fine, and we really do want to thank you for being on. And obviously, I'll keep apprised of everything that's going on. And then when you do play live, as long as I'm in town, I will be there. You can count on that.
Definitely. And thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Oh, indeed. And we appreciate it. And again, numbers2025.com, scrolling across the bottom. Once you've finished with that website, go on over to bompstore.com. You can check them out on Facebook, on Bandcamp. This is the new album, Mad Day Out. I'm going to pop it up right here again so everybody sees what it looks like. And as Terry said, they're working on new stuff. So a lot of things coming up in numbers land that we're all going to look forward to. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. Yeah, indeed.
Thank you so much. You guys
have a very
pleasant evening. All right.
You
have a
too,
great
Terry.
Have a great night.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
It was a lot of fun. And you know, again, it's great to see somebody who's at the advanced age that we are, still loving doing music and talking about music and just having the enthusiasm of somebody, you know, much younger. I think music keeps you young, whether you're a musician even, because thank you, Kerry.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I've never been a musician. I don't know how to play a note, but just by listening to music, by collecting it, I mean, you know, Terry was talking about being a functioning or not being a functioning adult. You can count me in on that group too. I am totally a kid. No matter how I feel health-wise, which of course I've had my issues. I'll always be not just a kid at heart, but a kid in my mind. And music is one of the major reasons for that. So thank God for music. You know, thank God for having that. I mean, it's just great again to talk with someone like Terry who still has that urge, who still has that passion. And this record is wonderful, and I cannot wait. I mean, the fact that he wants to do it live, like he insists on doing it live, the way the record sounds, I can't wait to see that happen. So,
very cool. Yeah, Mad Day Out. The numbers. No longer the mysterious numbers 64, 67. The story has been told. The liner notes are there for those of you who are interested. You know, find that copy. It's coming out on vinyl and CD, so you can.
The only thing I was showing something earlier. This is a CDR that, you know, my friend Jeff Glenn, may he rest in peace, made for me. I wanted to be able to play this album in the car at the time, so he made this for me, and I was able to do that. So, but now it's coming out legit on CD, and that's great news.
Yeah, awesome. Well, great interview, man. I know you're going to do your New York vacation with your brother Joel coming up here. I've got my heart surgery on Tuesday, a little ablation going on. Hopefully I bounce back and you can pop by on your way through here. Maybe we get together on Saturday.
I hope so.
Feeling good, but we'll stay in touch with that. But we don't have a guest for this upcoming Sunday night, but I'll be home with my daughter visiting, taking care of me, putting together the most difficult Stump the Bash in the history of Stump the Bashes.
Wow. Well, we're going to have to do this a little earlier because our flight leaves Sunday night at around 7. So we'll probably have to do it maybe about 3 or 4 hours early.
Yeah, we'll let everybody know. We'll discuss it. We'll
yeah,
up. But,
for sure. But yeah, we'll do it from the hotel room.
Yeah, if you joined the Facebook group, that's wonderful. You'll figure out. We'll drop an email there. If not, materialissues.com is the website to go directly to the YouTube stream. Join us there and tell all your friends. This is the place that you get to see David and I hang out and play some games, talk some trivia, pop culture. And
definitely going to play some tracks from current albums next week. I'll bring some files with me, and we'll get some photos up and all of that good stuff.
But where else are you going to have an interview show that has wonderful guests like we've had over the last 219 episodes, and finishing up tonight with Terry Tutor of The Numbers? So
no, there's no other show quite like ours, and make of that what you will, but we love what we're doing, and we hope that you do too, and we hope to continue to see you every week on Material Issues.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out.
Have a great rest of your week and weekend, and we will see you on Sunday.